Oh, I love this. So this is the Queen of Cups. And it's occurring to me now that the camera has this image reversed. So I will have to fix that. It's a technical issue for next time. So what you're seeing is reversed in the bottom view. Okay.
I can still read it.
Excellent. So yeah, this is the Queen of Cups. I'm showing it upright for you. And I love this because right now it really feels like you're focused on your business, focused on the profitability and increasing income within your business. Like it just feels very like prosperity come to me because I'm in the zone and I really feel like I know what I'm doing within my business. Because you and I both know what it feels like to kind of struggle with that. What am I doing? I'm a business person, but what am I doing? And I really feel like, especially here in the beginning of 2021, you finally feel like, oh yeah, I've got this. Like, let's just dive in because I know how to work my business. I know how to make money in my business. So I see the focus, but I also see the focus paying off with a lot of prosperity coming in, especially the beginning of 2021. I love this. I also see, oh, you just had a trip home. Are you considering a trip home again soon?
A what?
A trip back home. Are you considering a trip back home? No, that's okay. I see the trip that you just took. So I see you around water and I don't know why. I know you're from Wisconsin. I don't know why I'm thinking of Wisconsin as water, but that's what's coming to me in my mind. Yeah, I don't know if it's a trip back home or if it's just reminiscing on trips before. Trying to decide where you want to set down new roots. Yeah, but I sense something with water. So I think being around a body of water will really help you to finalize that decision and move through the uncertainties of that decision.
That's pretty cool. On my memories today, I was in Puerto Rico at this day, like in 2017.
Ooh, nice.
On the beach.
See, all right. Yeah, I definitely see maybe some time reminiscing or some time around water to help your thoughts flow into more clarity. Oh, girl, you got queen after queen. This is amazing. So here is the Queen of Wands right after the Queen of Cups. And y'all watched me shuffle. So this is awesome. Yeah, I love. So for me, cups typically represent emotion, but for me, a lot of times they actually represent prosperity. Whereas the wands technically represent practicality and prosperity and money matters. That's incorrect. That's incorrect. The pentacles do, which I'm curious to see if you have any pentacles pop up. But what I see here is, yes, okay. One, stepping more into your own crown, which we kind of covered in the last card, but also as we're looking forward to the spring, obviously it's still January, but as we're looking forward to the spring, I know because I know you love spending time outdoors. So even if it's cold out, like getting outside barefoot on the grass, spending time with nature, because that really fills up your cup. And I see a lot more of that, but also sharing with others how you refill your cup with nature. So I don't see this as a solo activity. I actually show you leading and sharing with others how to get in touch with nature, how to ground, how to maybe some breathing as well. Are you starting to add breathing work to your client work?
Yeah, I do actually every time, whether it's a nutrition client, yogi, obviously yogi.
That's awesome.
Or
Yeah.
Reiki.
I definitely see the breath work coming through. Yeah. And you stepping more into that leadership role of sharing that with others. Maybe on a wider platform. So I don't know if that would be social media or a retreat. You know what? Actually, you mentioned to me you have a retreat in Bali coming up. So I wonder if that will play a part in it. But yeah, I love that. Definitely getting back to nature, right? Yes, hopefully the pandemic doesn't interfere with that. Okay, so we have the devil card coming up. Now, obviously, it looks like a very scary card, but just because it looks like a scary card doesn't mean that it is. Here, what I see is you're definitely in a time of unshackling yourself from habits and belief systems that you were raised with and no longer feel aligned. And I know that that's work that you've been doing, but I feel like you're continuing to do that, which I think might tie back into reminiscing about your home, or even visiting your home or talking to your family, because I feel like those kind of tie in of what are some of the belief systems that I have built into my subconscious that I got from growing up from my family, that no longer align with me and no longer align with my business goals and my future goals. So I do see that coming up is you continuing to look at what needs to be unshackled and released, and so that you can move into the mindset that you want for your future. Does that make sense?
That's so real. Like everything you're saying is just like, dude, this is so true. You know me?
Well, I know you and the cards know you. So what I don't know, the cards help provide. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm trying to get it to come through. There's one more thing, and it's like, it's a minor detail, but I think it would make you laugh. Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay, so I'm seeing wine. There's on her tail. There's a group of grapes, and for me, what I'm seeing is actually wine. So maybe another milestone, but more specifically, a temptation to break your sobriety, because I know sobriety has been really important to you. You're over your year mark, right? That's amazing.
Yes.
So I don't see you falling to temptation, but I see the temptation, and I see it in the form of peer pressure from someone who's doesn't understand why you're working to be sober, to stay sober. They don't really understand that, and because they don't understand it, they are trying to pressure you out of it. I don't see it like a long drawn out process, but I do see it as a temptation that's coming up. That doesn't make sense. Why don't you just drink? Like, you're not an alcoholic. I don't understand. So just a heads up. And when that happens, please let me know, because like, I love the validation when things like that come up, like, oh my God, Tiffany. Yeah, so I definitely see that coming up for you. But mostly what I see is just continuing to work with the relationship with your family and the relationship with the ideas that you grew up with that no longer work for you.
All right.
Interesting. Okay, so I have the King of Swords. Man, you just have like heavy fucking cards. This is amazing. Okay, so I have the King of Swords, and what I'm seeing here is interesting. So I know you're in a time of transformation. Excuse me. And you're in the process of splitting. What I see here is actually a split of a homestead. So either one partner moves out, or the two of you decide to sell the house and split the profits. But I do see a split of the homestead coming up. And it might get a little emotional. So when it gets emotional and it gets a little sharp, just try to breathe into it. You have done so much work internally to reach a place of balance and joy and calm. So remember that when the situation comes and the two of you have the opportunity to be sharp, because you don't have to step into that. And you're able to ground yourself and center yourself and remember you can get through this, and you can get through this without falling into your lower vibes. So really important there. Does that resonate?
Yes, like 100%. 100.
Interesting. Yeah, and I do see that if you are able to stay in your higher vibrations and remain calm and as compassionate as possible, which won't necessarily be easy, I do see that in doing that, it'll make it easier to continue that friendship into the future. Okay.
Good. Yep.
Sweet.
It won't be easy, but it will be worth it.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, and just because it's when we have harsh words come at us, sometimes it's hard not to respond with harsh words. So yeah, but remembering that you've been preparing to enter a storm and be able to remain calm in the storm. So you already have that that exercise. You already have those abilities, that you already have that foundation. So just remember that when you're in the storm.
It's a good reminder. It's a really good reminder. Thank you, cards. And Tiffany. Thank you, Spirit.
I just read what comes up. That's all.
Cool.
Interesting. Okay, so here, so we talked about the temptation with the wine. I also see a temptation with the attention. So we've talked a little bit before about the attention shadow of why do I feel the need to have attention from others? And in reality, what we need is attention from ourselves. So I see another one of those temptations coming up of, and I'm getting this like giddiness, this giddy feeling of, oh, he might like me. Like he's so cute and he's looking at me. And so I really, I warned you that this was going to be honest.
That's good though.
So, but yeah, I'm getting this like giddy, like school child excitement. He's got a crush on me kind of vibe. And remembering, allowing yourself not to get caught up in that intoxication. Of course, it's fun. Everyone likes to be flirted with. Everyone likes to be desired. But the point here is remembering that you have the power to give attention to yourself. And when you give attention to yourself, that need, that desire to have attention from others, steps to the side. It's not as important. So that way you can keep your wits about you when you have someone show you attention, when you have someone that is making you feel good, so that you stay true to who you are. And at the end of the day, that's really what's important. It's not what happens with the flirtation. It's if you can stay true within yourself and not feel like you need to adjust your personality to suit the situation. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
This is like, yeah, definitely words of spirit for sure.
Yep, that's how it works. I just open my mouth and they just speak.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's good clarity.
Good. I'm glad. Awesome. We're just trekking through right now. We're just trekking through. Do you have any questions, any clarifying questions on what we've already covered?
I'm good.
Sweet. Alrighty. Okay, so what I have here, oh, hold on, let me move the card so you can actually see it. All right. So when I lay the cards actually indicate to me how they want to be laid down and where they want to be laid down. So I just roll with it. All right. So what we have here is the Justice card. And what I'm getting from this is two things, really. One, it's really important to you to feel like things are fair in the dissolution of your marriage. Like it's very important to you to make sure that it's fair on both sides, and not in a sense of I want what's mine, more in a sense of I want us both to feel like we're leaving this marriage with everything that we need to move forward as we heal, you know. So that seems very important to you, which is good. That's obviously that's gonna serve you well. But on the second hand, what I see here is having more political conversations in public. I feel like that really is important to you, not just political, but like, I'm going to say this word. This is not a word to offend, but the conspiracy concept of like the different conspiracy theories that you're intrigued by and are deemed conspiracy theories by society, but that mean a lot to you. I see you talking more and more about this in an open public forum, because I feel like you've gotten braver about talking about them, but you're still like, oh, what does that mean? Like, what are my audience going to think? What are my clients going to think if I talk about this stuff and like it's not on their vibe? And I feel as you come more and more into yourself, you get to a point where you're like, fuck it, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and the people that want to work with me are going to be on the same vibe, or they're at the very least they're going to be like, okay, that's Val's thing, I still want to work with her because she's dope as fuck. So I feel like you're going to come more and more into talking about politics and conspiracy theories and points of concern between the 3D and the 5D. And so I feel like you move more into talking about that openly.
That is right on. That is so true.
Thank you. I appreciate your validation.
That is so true. No, like, wow, dude, what the heck? I was just literally talking about my mentor about all this stuff on Saturday. We were discussing, like, you know, how deep does this shit go? Like, why?
Yep.
Man, like the CIA owns the fucking bank and the drug cartels? Like, are you kidding me? No. Like, anyway, it's good.
Yep. So I definitely see that. You know what? And this is just coming to me. I don't know if you're an iPhone person. I don't know, because I'm not. I'm an Android. I will say that proudly. I'm a PC and an Android. But everyone's been talking a lot about Clubhouse, and I can definitely see this as like a Clubhouse room for you, of talking about all things government and conspiracy, or doing IG lives just around that, or just IG videos, whatever, YouTube videos, whatever. Yeah, I definitely see that coming up in within the first quarter of 2021. So, and whenever I mention time frames, I've had a couple of people come to me and they'll be like, hey, everything you said was exactly right, but it happened at a time that you didn't say. And I'm like, you know what? That's funny, because that's the only complaint I usually get is my readings are dead accurate, but my timing is almost never correct. And that's because time is so fluid. So when I mention a time frame, it's based on right now. If nothing changed moving forward, this is how things would play out. But as we make decisions and we move forward, the fluidity of time changes as well. So what might have happened in 2 months after having this reading and like you make a different decision might not happen because you were well prepared, or it might happen in 3 months or whatever. So I just want to make sure I make that clear, that the timing that I say is not, don't quote me on it, you know. And my disclaimer is obviously that
I might hop on a different timeline. You never know.
Exactly. Like, yes, absolutely. So I definitely try and say that, and that the disclaimer of what I see in the cards is what I see now, but that doesn't mean it's not going to change. So, and that's exactly, every time we make a decision, we affect how our future is going to look. So that's my little disclaimer, YouTube. Awesome.
Is this on Facebook and YouTube?
It should be on Facebook and YouTube. The real, yeah, it should be. That's the plan. Yep, it says sending data. Woohoo! So stoked. And then I'll upload it to other socials. Awesome.
I'm glad the whole world can get to know what's in my vortex.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was like, hey, listen.
As if they didn't already know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, on a subconscious level, most people, you can, like, if you're not in active addiction of whatever that addiction is, you can feel into like this stuff. If personally for me, like, I can kind of know it's people.
I completely agree.
I mean, I'm a Reiki practitioner. Like, that's what my career is.
Right. Absolutely. And I completely agree. I think I think once you open yourself up to the possibility that there's more than the practicality here in the 3D, you start to open up and accept new ways of thinking, and you really push your mind to see and experience more, and not just your mind, but your body, your soul body, etc. I completely agree. Like once you open yourself up to it, it's like okay, we're just wading into the pool of all things spiritual. Right on. Yeah, I agree. Which is why I love doing the intuitive tarot, is because that intuition just comes through like straight the fuck from like cosmic, and all my guides and spirits that I connect with. They're just like, hey, tell her this. So I love it. I love
that happens when I work with clients too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, when I get Reiki done on me, oh my God, crazy fucking downloads. Crazy downloads. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Same.
You have a lot of swords in your reading. So this is the Ace of Swords. I'm showing it reversed. But what I'm seeing, yeah, you have a fuck ton of swords. So with swords, a lot of times when we have changes, they are real fucking quick. They are like cut to the quick and then figure out how to heal the open wounds. So, and that's kind of what I'm seeing is like you have a lot of fucking changes coming for you in the immediate future, like in the next month or 2, 3. And it's going to feel very like, oh, I thought I was prepared for that, but that was a little sharper than I expected. But because you know that now, you know to anticipate, hey, this is going to hurt a little bit more than I thought it would. But then we can start healing the process. And it's kind of like ripping off the Band-Aid. Like, let's get it done. Let's get it over with and move on. Like, I'm ready to get to future Valerie, you know? So just be prepared that you have a lot of changes coming, small and large, that might feel sharper than you anticipated. Let it come, feel comfortable with the sharpness, and then start healing. Okay?
Got it.
Sweet.
I feel like that's how I roll anyway. It's just like, I'm so done with stuff, and then it's just like throw it out the window and proceed to party. Just kidding.
That was great. Yes, proceed to party.
Like that one song. Some
yeah, I know the song, but I can't think of the title or the band.
Is it Toby Keith? Proceed to party. I'm here to party.
Maybe. Yeah, you're looking.
Red Solo Cup.
Yes.
I fill you up. I'm here to party. Proceed to party. I think that's the lyric.
Yes.
Anyway, that was a way off sidetrack.
It happens. It happens for sure. All right. So any questions of anything that's coming up?
Nope, not yet. I'm just excited for the next one.
Yeah, no problem. Oh man, more swords. Holy crap.
Dude, Tiffany, did you shuffle this deck or what?
I swear you watched me. Like, I swear I shuffled it.
I saw you.
All right. Interesting. Okay, so. Oh, I love that. Okay, so what I see here is we just talked about the sharpness, all the changes that are coming through. Sometimes it's hard when we're in the storm to focus on like remembering the storm. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important as you move through each of these sharp changes is to document it. Journal about it, journal about how you're feeling, journal about how you're coping, because I actually see this as something that you move into sharing with the world and helping other people cope with things similar. So yeah, definitely journal about it. And I feel this is like cannon fodder for like a book or blog post or guest submissions into online journals, online articles. So yeah, so I'm not kidding. Like,
oh, dude, I've been like, writing a book has been in my vortex for a while, and I'm like,
it's that Rachel Harris stuff, right? Just like embrace that that Rachel Hollis. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like it just keeps coming to me, and I'm like, no, like Valerie is not a published author in this lifetime. No, I just keep pushing it and resisting that.
I'm curious, why do you keep pushing it out?
Man, I guess most of my life I've really been like terrible in English. Like my English and writing.
Girl, that's what editors
my worst subjects.
That's what editors and proofreaders are for. You got this.
Yeah, like I feel like I could write a book, but I'm not going to be very good at following any rules, like structure and.
But your entire entrepreneurial life has been about breaking the rules that don't fit you and following the rules that are aligned. So why would writing a book be any different?
I know. Like, I don't know. I guess because it's more at one place. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, just a lot. I guess just.
I'm not saying you have to write a book. I'm just saying that I see the universe throwing that back into your plans. Or at least the universe is like, hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do this. So
I feel like there's like also another block is like, I feel like, who am I to write this book? Like, I'm still on the journey. I'm not done yet. Like, I can't write the book until I figured out all of life's problems. Just, yeah. That's
hey, Valerie.
But it's not true.
Exactly. If that's the case, who are you to share your life on IG Live? And yet you do. And yet you not only helped other people feel more comfortable with their day-to-day lives, but you have gained an audience, and now they love it when you share live. And you have such an energy that comes forth from you to help other people. And you could do that with a book as well. Who are you not to write a book?
Yeah, who am I being all selfish and self-centered, not sharing this journey with more people?
Yes. So yeah, like get a journal, dedicate it to, the trials of 2021. Because I think that's going to help you with not only, so what's the sharp things that you're dealing with? How are you processing them, coping them, integrating them? And does anything come up for you of things that you've processed in the past, maybe patterns that you didn't get a chance to heal and learn from the first time around? So just kind of keep that in your mind as they come up, because it's going to be I'm trying to think of the word, inspiration for not only content, videos, but also blog posts, guest posts, and writing a book. So that it's going to come up. So why not take notes while you're dealing with it, while you're in the shit?
Dude, I write a journal like all the time. Look at all these journals over there. Journals for days.
Love it. Yes, journal.
But it's good to remember, because I've heard this from probably you're the third person to tell me this in the past 2 days.
The universe is like practically yelling at you. And you know what? You don't even have to do it like, you don't even have to be like, oh, I'm writing a book. It can just be like, I'm writing an outline. I'm writing an article. I'm putting together a group of articles, and I'm going to see if they fit into chapters. Like, break it down. If writing a book seems not possible for you, how can you break it down?
Right. I feel like it's easier for me to write when I'm like, I'm just going to delete this anyway. Like if I go in with the mindset, like I'm never actually going to put this out. And then I just put it out there.
That was a gold nugget. Holy shit. I'm going to use that myself. I'm just going to delete this anyway. So balls to the wall, right? I love that. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I've been recording videos lately and I'm like, I even say in the video, I might delete this later, but then I post it.
Feeling cute, might delete later.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, I love that. That's a gold fucking nugget right there. Yeah, I'm going to use that too. That might actually help, because too often I'm like stuck in that perfectionist mode. And so I'm like, oh, it's not quite right. But if I'm just like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to delete it anyway. Let's see what comes of it, you know?
Yeah. Then it's like I'm more in the flow, and spirit really is like just putting itself onto paper, into words, into the universe, out of my face, out of my mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so I have the 5 of Cups here. And this card always makes me just a little bit sad. But here, it feels very much like contemplation. Really being in your own mind of wanting to go to a deeper level, to understand why you've made the decisions that you've made in the past. Which decisions do you feel like you want to take forward into your future? So this feels very much like, what am I taking and what am I leaving?
It cut out. What did you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. This card feels very much like, what am I taking and what am I leaving of your life, of your ideas and mindsets up to this point, from your relationships, from your family, from your marriage. What are you taking with you into future Valerie, and what are you leaving behind and releasing because it no longer serves you or your highest good? This does feel like a lonely experience, but it's really important to remember that alone does not mean lonely. And I feel like this also kind of draws back into, I feel lonely. I want to spend time with so-and-so. Do you actually want to spend time with others, or are you just avoiding the feeling of being alone? And what is it that the inner you, what is it that the inner you really needs in that moment, rather than deflecting to try and be with other people to heal that openness? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. It's like codependency.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So alone doesn't have to mean lonely. If you're feeling lonely, what is it that the inner you needs in that moment, rather than putting aside your whatever it is you're feeling and trying to avoid that by spending time with others?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So it's like telling me to like just sit and feel into what does my heart really want here.
Yeah, absolutely. When those feelings of I'm too in my head, I'm lonely, I just want to be around other people's energy. Is that actually what you need, or is that what you want to avoid spending time with your own energy? And what is it that inner you needs? So I feel like here it's really important to remember, like, as you have really strong desires come up, is it because you're avoiding something within yourself, or is it an intuition that you need? Yes, you need whatever it is you're desiring. So I think that what's coming up is like, really try and check in with yourself on a regular basis. Okay, I desire tacos. Is that really what I want? Like, is that really what I need? Or am I just filling a hole that I could do some inner work to resolve?
Yeah, totally. Like last week, I was like, I really wanted a hamburger so bad. And I ate the freaking hamburger, and it was worth it. It was so good. And it was a good experience, and I had no regrets. But then, like, today, I was like eating this protein bar, and it was like, I was eating it literally just because I was avoiding taking a quick 5-minute meditation break.
Yes. Yeah, that comes up for me all the time. Like, hey, sometimes I'm craving red meat because my body is craving that extra dose of iron. And sometimes I am eating popcorn because I have acid reflux, and I'm just trying to avoid the cause of the acid reflux. So I'm not actually hungry. I'm just trying to get rid of a symptom, or I'm just trying to get rid of a feeling that's uncomfortable. So yeah, just trying to
Dude.
right?
I realized I overate a lot just because I didn't like being cold, and overeating made me feel warm.
Because your body's.
Isn't that like the most ridiculous thing? But it was what I did.
But it's so true. Absolutely. Like it dawned on me that I've done so much overeating in my life because my stomach was upset because like there was either acid reflux or an ulcer or heartburn. And I was just trying to get rid of the acid. And it never occurred to me that I was doing it in the wrong way. I just wanted the discomfort to go away. So what is it that we're doing when we just want the discomfort to go away, where if we actually tune in, we could solve the discomfort or integrate the discomfort? So.
That is so true. Like transmuting that energy. Like, this is like a skill that 2021 has absolutely brought forth to me, is transmuting those feelings of like, I want this so bad, or I want this food or this situation to happen or this money so bad, but learning how to like take that energy and like put it forth for good, because there's a lot of power in those temptations and things.
Yeah.
So instead of using that to like do evil, use it to do good works.
Exactly. Well, I mean, when we have those nuggets of awareness and we have those shifts within ourselves, we can use it. We can use it for ill purposes, for malintents, or we can use it for the betterment of ourselves and others. And which is why I feel like keeping track of that journey for yourself as you move through this is important, because you can then turn around and share it with other people. I feel like that's going to be really, really valuable and really important. But yeah, like you said, 2021 has really brought this opportunity to look at what's coming. What's the stimulus coming in and what's the stimulus within, and how can I transmute it to what is actually right for me? So that's definitely going to be a big point coming up.
Yeah. And it actually, by doing that, I like avoided being cold, but by actually like transmuting that energy in my body, it sends heat to my hands and feet from within. It's not even Reiki or anything. It's like crazy sweet stuff.
Right. Well, and looking more, so for me, I realized that a lot of nausea and heartburn and acid reflux is actually caused by poor gut health, by poor gut bacteria, and which I never realized that before. Here I was taking, Tums and antacids and prescription antacids and yada yada, and none of it was really having the effect that I wanted. So when I learned about the poor gut health, I started doing a pre and probiotic on a daily basis, and like bloat, acid reflux, nausea, heartburn, all of it just gone. And I was like, well, holy shit, if I'd known that like 20 years ago, that would have been great.
Yeah. I definitely take a probiotic and prebiotics every day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So good. And plus paired with like good nutrition, and makes it all the better.
Yep, absolutely. Supplements, good nutrition, pre and probiotic. Yes, I'm on the journey. So, okay, do you have any questions now of anything that have come up?
No.
Awesome. Let's see what the cards have to say. Oh, that's such a pretty card. Oh, I love this. Okay, so this is the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. I love this. I'm getting a very solar plexus identity vibe from this card. So I feel like that's really, as you move through the things that we've discussed, you feel more and more aligned with your identity. Because I know sometimes you kind of feel like when you're in a shift, when you're in a rebrand, you kind of feel like, I don't know what my identity is. I don't know what identity I want to share with the world. I don't know what is my most authentic form? And you're laughing, so I know that this feels really aligned for you. But yes,
but yes.
Oh, well, you're welcome to cry here, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But yes, I feel like that's really, you're moving towards this feeling of, I know who the fuck I am. And like that empowering feeling of, this is my identity. These are my boundaries. My boundaries help me reaffirm my identity. And it's not up to anyone else to adjust and push and suggest that I'm a different person, or I'm a different label, or in a different box. Like, I don't have to be Valerie the family person over here, and I don't have to be Valerie the wife over here, and I don't have to be the businesswoman, and I can just be Valerie, and all these other things are connected. And I feel like that feels very, very empowering to you, to finally feel like you're standing in a place where you know who the fuck you are, and your solar plexus is just like the sun.
Yeah, girl, so much yes. My solar plexus used to be my weakest chakra, and lately it's been one of the most consistently strong energy centers in my body. After switching my nutrition and letting go of a bunch of shit.
Awesome.
Letting go of a lot of addictions, really.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like each one of these has been like a piece to the puzzle for you, and you're just subtly checking off each puzzle, like, okay, this piece goes here, this piece goes here, this piece goes here, etc. That's been really powerful for you. So and you're going to continue to move into that place of I know who I am, and I finally feel like I have a strong, solid solar plexus, and as things come at me, I can handle it without feeling like my identity is at stake of changing to suit others or to suit the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that.
Are they brown out
there? Okay, so this is the star.
I wonder.
I'm showing it reversed, but you actually see it because of the weird camera angle. You actually see it as upright. Beautiful card. I love this. So you can't tell, but there's the large star. Wait for my camera to catch up. So there's a large star, and then there's actually 7 surrounding stars. And you and I both know that 7 is a very powerful number in spirituality, in money, etc. So here we have 7 surrounding stars, but then we also have a large star, so that means 8. And we know that 8 is a really good number for money, finance, prosperity. And so here, what I'm seeing with this card is, obviously, so there's 2 jugs. She's pouring water into the larger body of water, and then she's pouring water onto the earth. And here, what I'm seeing is as you give of yourself, as long as you're only giving of your overflow, you actually renew yourself, if that makes sense. So, so as your cup overflows, and that overflow goes to your business, the people you love, your interest outside of business, your friends, as long as it's within your boundaries that you've set. When you give of your overflow, it actually renews your cup. But once you start giving, once you start depleting your cup, then you start feeling drained. It's like there's a leak in the cup. So if you only give of your overflow, and you can have varied interests. You can have, you're giving to your family, you're giving to your business, you're giving to your meditation and your spiritual journey to continue to open your mind. So you can have varied interests. You can multitask, if you will, but make sure you're only giving to the point where you don't feel depleted. Because once you start feeling depleted, once you start feeling like it's pulling from you rather than you're giving of yourself, does that make sense? So if it starts feeling like the energy shift is now pulling from you rather than you're giving it, very, very quickly you'll realize that it's like a cascade effect of you're very depleted, your motivation is lacking, your routines are lacking. So as soon as, pay attention to that subtle shift between I'm giving versus now this is pulling from me. Because once it starts pulling, it's like a vacuum. So very subtle difference, but I feel like that's really important for you. A lot of prosperity, a lot of alignment, a lot of energy. I love this. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one too.
And body positivity as well. I feel like that's coming up too.
Oh,
body
dude,
positivity,
yeah.
body acceptance, self-love. Yeah.
My tongue looks like it's yellow on this camera. That's it might be from my e-shot actually, but yeah, like I totally love how you say this. I've never had this like conscious thought before that when I give from a full overflowing place, like because I'm well rested, I'm feeling good, eating good, looking good, that when I start giving from that place of overflow, and then that overflow giving just like kind of recirculates too, like it makes me feel even better to give, and then I receive the giving, and then it's just like this like really high up spiral.
I love that. Fuck yeah.
Is that awesome. What you said? Is that what you were trying to say too?
Yeah. So
this, just different words.
Right. Yeah, the words the spirit gave me. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So as long as you're just giving of what's overflowing from your cup, like a fountain, you know, as it overflows, it's allowed to fill other people's cups. So as long as it's flowing to them, as long as your cup is flowing to other cups, that's perfect. But when the energy shifts and it's now a vacuum pulling from you, that's when you need to readjust, because that vacuum can very quickly deplete you.
What does it say to do when that happens?
That's a really great question. So what I'm seeing here, is you need to remember your boundaries.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So mind you, I mean, this is
swords.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you've taken a journey here. You've reclaimed your identity. You feel solid in your identity, and you've helped other people with that same journey. And as you reach your identity, you reach a point where you feel very, very attuned to what your boundaries are. So when those boundaries are crossed and you now feel like someone is taking your energy, pulling your energy from you, you have the ability to assess, like, okay, where's the leak coming from? Where are my boundaries being crossed, and how can I reaffirm them? Maybe spending, maybe we all have that one friend or that one family member where you love them, but it's kind of like they take a lot of energy to maintain that relationship, you know? So maybe, you can only spend 2.5 hours with that person before you reach headache and exhaustion and tension. So maybe you only spend 2.5 hours with them. And when that starts to go over the time frame and they're still talking, you decide that you need to kindly, politely, whatever, excuse yourself. Be like, listen, I love you, but I have a tight schedule, whatever it may be. Or maybe you just blatantly tell them, I love you, but I only have so much energy and I need to make sure I have energy for myself as well. Which is not easy. That's a very emboldened way to say it. But yeah, that's definitely an option. And that's just one example. Maybe I definitely see that when you reach that sense of, hey, okay, now there's a vacuum rather than a flow of energy, you have the ability to look at, where am I sensing a leak? Where am I sensing this vacuum? Where am I sensing this pull? So that I can start looking at my boundaries. So I do feel it being very intuitive. I feel a vacuum. I feel like my energy is being pulled from me. Okay, where is it being pulled? What can I do to cut that off? And sometimes that might mean removing energy cords, cutting cords. Maybe there's so many different options. It really depends on the situation. But I feel like a lot of that will be intuitive. Or at the very least, you can be like, hey, Tiffany, or whoever, you've got dozens of Reiki friends. Can you do a scan and see if I'm missing something? Because I feel like my energy is being pulled. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Lately, something that's helping is sage, like saging myself a lot.
Yes.
And also, if I know I'm going to be in a situation with somebody that they might try to take more time than I'm willing or wanting to give, I make sure to schedule something right after it. So I'm like, hey, gotta go.
Smart.
Gotta run.
Yeah. I think we've talked about energy shielding before too. That really helps me when I'm around someone that it's not intentional, but they happen to be an energy vampire. You know, they're very taking of energy. So energy shielding has been really helpful for me over the years, and it's something that I also try and help any of my spirituality clients, my magic clients. I help them with that as well. Have we talked about energy shielding before?
I believe I've listened to one of your Facebook lives where you talked about how you create the energy vortex around
like,
you.
Bubble, yeah.
The fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, a lot of times it kind of looks like an eggshell. And then when I'm feeling particularly vulnerable, I'll add like fire to the outside. It's like an extra defense mechanism. But yeah, that's another option that you can do, because it allows things to filter through your shield if you decide to, without allowing someone to suck your energy from it. So
that's cool. I feel like I spend a lot of time like cleansing my body and like my aura and my subtle body, my energetic field with Kundalini and like breath work.
Yeah.
And it would be helpful too to have that additional shield in the first place, so I'm not always having to breathe off all of this.
Exactly. So with the shield, what I've noticed, because I do a lot of cleansing too, but thankfully I really only have to do it maybe once a day, which is really nice, and it's a very quick process, and that's because that shield kind of does a lot of that work for you. So you really only have to cleanse like your aura, because that shield is protecting everything within the shield. So it's protecting your energy body, it's protecting your physical body, etc. So you're not having to cleanse as much because you're already protected. So it's like wearing a glove. Like your hands are already clean. You just have to take the glove off. And, so it's, if that makes sense. So it might actually help a little. And you can adjust the shield to filter in energy as you see fit. Yeah.
Man, I'm kind of like one of those people. I'm a little dramatic. So I'd have to like make like a spiky shield with like porcupine spikes on it or
something. I have done that. Like dragon scales, like amethyst points. I'm hella extra, absolutely. With my shields, I've been hell yeah. You do whatever you need to with your shield. It's your shield.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna have to like. For some reason, I think like a shield is like golden light, but I'm like, no, golden light isn't going to be enough for this girl. I need like spikes, swords, like barbed wire fence, electric fence.
Right? Yeah, you can add all kinds of layers. Absolutely. Layers, material, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm sensing that there's one more card, which is perfect because we're just about at the end of our time. So
cool.
Do you have another question to summarize everything or whatever?
No, not yet.
Okay. So this is your last card, so it really just depends on if you have anything coming up. No question? You don't have to have a question. I'm just curious.
Well, I'm just like curious, like, would you recommend doing these like again in a few weeks or like
yeah, absolutely. Days? So with my tarot clients and anyone that's watching, my link is in my bio. You can find me at Instagram or obviously if you're watching this on Facebook, at Fitz Tiffany. Let's try this again. FITZ Tiffany. And my link is in my bio. It's also at linktr.ee /tiffanyfitzpatrick for my tarot clients. But yeah, I recommend to my tarot clients probably about once a month. We can do it more frequently, weekly or bi-weekly if you have something come up that you really need some extra clarity around. But yeah, for most of my clients, I recommend monthly. And then I also do year ahead readings twice a year, which kind of give you a broad overview of what the year ahead will look like for you. So that's a really great question. That's not going to be in your reading, but that's a really great question. Yeah. All right, last card. Oh yeah, you've got like prosperity from the beginning of your reading all the way through the end of your reading.
Say that again, it cut out. What?
Sorry. You have prosperity from the beginning of your reading all the way to the end of your reading. So I think that's really cool. Okay, so
I
here,
agree. I'm here for prosperity, yo.
me too, girl. The Four of Pentacles. So this really calls to practical matters here. And what I see is looking at your your cash flow, your tax brackets, your all of your financial spreadsheets in preparation of not only tax season, but also comparing year to year how you've improved. I do feel this is a very like practical matter of making sure my taxes are aligned, making sure the taxes and prosperity and cash flow are set up for my business, especially because you are moving into a time in your life where you're single, your marriage is dissolved. So looking at how the finances are going to change and how you can continue to grow from there. So a lot of times in this sense, I definitely get the sense of numbers are very comforting here because it really helps you. Like numbers don't lie. It really gives you the comfort to move forward and expand where you want to. So it's like, oh, I want to add a new product, or I want to add a new service, or I want to take a retreat to Bali, whatever. Let me look at my numbers. Oh, good. My numbers are reassuring to me. They're showing that I can do this comfortably. Or I want to take a vacation, which means I'm not going to be bringing in income. Do my numbers support that I can do that? So, because we are here in January, looking back at 2020 and seeing where your numbers are, where you want your numbers to be for each of the quarters of 2021, not only with your business, but also with your personal money, your retirement, etc. So making sure you have all of that aligned. And I personally know that you have most of that aligned. But yeah, looking back at that, because those numbers are going to be comforting to you.
Man, literally, I just literally did some stuff with that yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, my mind would be so happy if I had these paperwork figured out. And yeah, I went through and just figured out some numbers that I didn't have in my spreadsheets and stuff. And it was like, oh, my mind was like, freedom. I can relax and chill now because
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that wraps up your reading. I just want to say before I let you guys go, so I will be uploading this so you can watch it to your heart's content. Also, I'm going to be doing the live tarot bi-weekly. I've already got Q1 filled up. So if you want to be on the wait list, DM me and we'll talk about Q2.